Hey, what's up, everybody? Make sure y'all hit the like button as soon as you come into the room, and we'll be getting started shortly. What's up, GSG9 Kingdom of Judah, Israel, Ashton Lewis, and Komet Guide? I'm gonna have to DVR Ashton because I gotta work tonight. What's up, yo, folks? Angus, Meriwether, Darian, Victor. I can't believe we're actually into the 11th week of this live stream. Well, it's not so much of a concert that I'm working. It's more like a speaking engagement. Okay, cool, Vic. I see that he's putting out a little bit more content more often. What's going on, Black Rage? I know Ash and me and my coworker who watched the show, we talk about that show weekly. And I'm glad you brought it up because I would have forgot the DVR. What's up, Taylor? That's good, Black Rage. Everybody needs a break every now and then from the plantation. I remember I had to take a almost a not entire week off, but almost a whole week off. Not last week, but the week before. Victor, that sounds like an interesting discussion. I was actually talking a little bit about that on Twitter, but I wasn't talking about the black superheroes. I was talking about the black villains that are in these movies and how they're starting to like pop up, and they are some good villains. Well, Black Rage, you have a whole week off, so that definitely can happen. Well, I appreciate it. Actually, you about to watch Venom for the first time? GSG, who's running out of ideas? What's going on, Caps? I think a Black Ridge. I think everybody wants to have that moment. Is Venom even still in the theaters? because it's been out for over um, almost 2 months. Oh, we've been knew that. GSG. Now we've been knew that they were running out of ideas. But as long as they continue to make money, people really can't complain about them running out of ideas. Well, you get what I mean. Because as long as that money train keeps going, they're gonna keep making whatever it is that they want. But first, before I get into anything, I have to thank everybody for tuning in to that episode I appeared in on For My Man. I'm still getting feedback about it. Like yesterday, people were sending me clips and everything like that. I went back to work that Thursday and had people like congratulating me and all types of stuff of that nature. People kept calling me by my character name and all of that stuff. So I really do appreciate the good feedback. This actually keeps me going and wants me to. It's pushing me to want to continue doing this. What email did you send me, Taylor? I get a lot of emails, as you already know. But yeah, like if y'all want to hear me talk about the process of me getting onto that episode and what it was like shooting it, you can go back and look at the live stream that I did right after that episode aired, and it was on Monday. So it's just a few days ago. No, I commit God. No, I don't know what's going on in Haiti right now. I can only guess that it's not good by the way you frame that question. Yo, folks, no, do not accept that. That sounds like a scam. And even if it wasn't, I wouldn't accept it. What's going on, Shar? Well, appreciate you, Ben J, for coming over to my channel. Yeah, Professor Black Truth, he goes in, and I do appreciate whenever he can give me a shout out on his channel. That's not because Professor Black Truth, he doesn't just shout out anybody. I might have seen it, Taylor, but I didn't. But I didn't get a chance to open it up because, like I said, I get a lot of emails every single day. But I will, and when I get a chance to, I will go and check that out. But one thing that I also, who in the chat saw saw Creed 2? Because as y'all already know, I saw it on Friday, and I did a review about it. But if I had known about um what I'm about to tell you, I would have inserted that into my review as well, but I'll just mention it now. As y'all already know, Ryan Coogler, he directed the first Creed movie, and it was very successful. A lot of people didn't know how to receive it or how it was going to be because they knew it was like a spin-off of the Rocky movie. But it was very successful. And now you have Creed 2. He did not direct this one. A lot of people thought that he did, but he didn't. Somebody else did. He actually stayed on as executive producer, though. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because I found out yesterday that the guy that directed Creed 2 actually went to the same film school that that went to. Vijay said, "Isn't it a feminist movement in that?" No, it isn't. But what was I saying? Oh, the director who directed this movie, he went to the same. Him and Ryan went to the same film school, and they both knew each other. And he was known just for doing indie type movies and whatnot. And Brian actually went to the execs over at MGM personally and asked them, could this guy be the director of the next Creed movie? See, what's going on now is Ryan has a lot of clout now because after him doing Black Panther. So he went to them and they like accepted the offer, and his friend ended up directing the movie, and that became his big screen directorial debut film. And this was another black man that he did this for. And it's kind of like a cycle being continuously going in a circle because he did independent films. Ryan directed independent films. If y'all don't know, Fruitvale Station was a indie film before it became a more mainstream film. I mean, it became more popular. So I do appreciate him actually putting his friend on to direct this movie, and it paid off for both of them because I have no doubt in my mind that Creed 2 is going to be #1 this week in the box office. And the guy's only 30. And it's crazy because Ryan is like 32. So they're very relatively young. Well, Cash, well, I'm not going to spoil it in here because some people said they didn't see it yet. So I'm not going. I almost said something, but I held back. But that's why I respect Ryan Coogler as not only a director but as a person, because not many people will pay it forward like that. And now that his friend is out there now, who knows what kind of offers and deals he's going to get in the future. And see, Ryan couldn't do it because he was busy working on Black Panther. His schedule was too wrapped up to do it. Right, Benjay. I forgot. Will Packer is another one who'll be putting a lot of other black people on as well. And that man has made a lot of films. Probably some films that people didn't even know he made. And the thing is, people like Ryan Coogler is still early on in his career. Like he doesn't have a lot of credits to his name. And he's making moves like this. That's why people were skeptical about him directing Black Panther, but as you can see, it paid off. All right, let's see. Where am I going to start with first? I just wanted to give y'all that bit of opening news. You know, like I always like to kick it off in a special way type, like that. Let's see. I'll just start it off, I guess, with the whole Tekashi 6ix9ine situation. Y'all knew I was going to talk about that, as well as I already made a video on it as well. So we all know Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's pretty much in a situation where he's probably not going to get out of whatever is going on with him at the moment. He might as well just like close the chapter on this book and just hang it up, because I highly doubt he's going to be able to get out of this one. And the latest thing that I saw so far with him that I saw on Twitter was someone was recording him allegedly putting a hit out on someone related to Chief Keef, or maybe it was Chief Keef. I don't know. Now I'm like, you are out here putting a $30,000 hit on somebody out in public. This does not look good for your case whatsoever. Now, this isn't new. This is, I guess, some footage that came about from maybe months ago. Hell, it could have been even last year. And he's out in broad daylight doing this. Like the video is on Twitter right now. I said, why don't you just walk into the prison right now. Why don't they just open up the cell doors? You walk in there right now, close it behind you. At this point, there's no need to be a trial. None. I bet you he ain't gonna go up in that prison cell with all that rainbow colored hair. Oh, I have no doubt in my mind he's gonna start snitching. But that still ain't gonna get him out of jail fast because the judge has revoked or denied his bond. They said, nope, you said you are too much of a risk to be out amongst everybody right now, even under custody. What's going on, Hood Mistress? Like he has too much stuff attached to his name to allow him to be out, out in public like that. And the thing is, I hate to say, as much as Fat Joe has rubbed me the wrong way, he warned him. I saw a clip that Lovely T had played on her channel, which when Fat Joe was being interviewed, I think it could have been earlier this year, it could have been last year when he was talking about he was warning him about the stuff that he was doing, but he didn't take heed to the warning, and now this happens. It caught up with him. And I think another reason Fat Joe was saying that because Fat Joe almost got caught up in the same stuff, and he realized that he had to take a step or a few steps back and realize they can come after me the same way. But I would say I would hope for the best for him, but I don't. I really don't. And it's so crazy because you see a lot of people online saying free Takashi or free 6ix9ine and all this. I said no, keep Takashi, keep 6ix9ine. I said he's always rubbed me the wrong way, but this right here, this takes the cake. And people started posting up stuff that he's done for a lot of other people. I said that's good and all and good and dandy, but there's a lot of black people that's locked up too for very minimal stuff like weed possession. I agree, Benjay. They have to make an example out of him. Maybe that'll get others to start to shake this wannabe image and whatnot. And also, I think one another thing. I don't know if this was set out by his lawyers or himself, but he had came out and made a statement saying that he faked this whole gangster persona and whatnot. I said, well, you're preaching to the choir because there's many people in the industry who are faking the funk. You ain't the only one, but you are the one of the few that's got all these racketeering charges and all kinds of other stuff against you that'll send you to jail for a very long time. Right, or traffic ticket action like that lady who got was it like 20 days in jail for that traffic infraction, and then the judge has sent her to order her to go back to jail for like 6 more additional months. I think someone sent me an email about that because I think because she forgot to show up to her court hearing or something like that. I rarely listen to the radio nowadays, y'all. I rarely do. Thank God for things like Apple Music or YouTube so I can listen to or download whatever music I want to listen to. Cause some of that stuff on the radio I don't listen to. I can't deal with it. And I see they trying to clean his image up the best they can by throwing him in a suit and whatnot. I said, when's the last time he willingly wore a suit? Like, how many suits does he have in his closet right now? I don't like I said, I don't feel bad for him because he bought this on himself. And if it was us, guess what? If it was one of us who did this, I would be saying the same exact thing. I don't want people to think that I'm being biased because he's who he is. If it was us, I would be saying the same exact thing. Because I'm not biased when people do dumb stuff. Because some people will see it as, oh, you're just coming at him because he is a Mexican who's rapping. No, that has nothing to do with it. I could care less. Do you know how many non-black people are in hip hop right now? But to my knowledge, none of them have done what he's done. So that has nothing to do with it. You're Ashton, I can't deal with it either. Like I really, really can't. I mean, I'll know the song sometimes if I hear it, but for me to just like play it all the time, I can't. I just can't deal with it. Like you said, the '90s and early 2000s hip hop, or the '90s in general, that was the golden era of music. Period. But whatever happens to him is going to be well deserved, and people who are fans of him, whoever is a fan of him, are just going to have to understand that you can't be doing stuff like that and think that you're going to get away with it. And they probably had tabs on him for months, probably years. But see, he put himself out there like that, and he made it very easy for him to become a target. Like he wasn't even low key with it. But then I gotta remember he's part of Gen Z. He was born in 1996. So he's part of Generation Z. I think Gen Z runs from 95 to uh what is it? 2012, I think. And I am just like many people in this industry trying to be something that they're not. It's not a lot of authentic people in the industry anymore, unlike back when we were younger, like when we were kids growing up. There's only a small few, but not many. A lot of these people in the industry are very manufactured. Like they got a battery pack in their back and they operate as soon as that on switch cuts on. But speaking of another person, like to stay a little bit on the subject of pop culture and people that need to go away, here's another one that needs to go away. Black China. Well, now that she's got this lightning cream, we're about to start calling her White China. Calling herself, well, you know what? I'm bored. I need some money. They won't let me get any more child support out of my two baby daddies. So let me go and team up with this other self-hating chick and sell this tub of skim lightening cream to people in hopes that um I make some money because she actually she actually used the excuse of I'm a single mother. So she's doing this all for the money. She needs the money because she needs to support her lifestyle. It's not for her kids. It's for her. It's for her. And I made sure to implement that in that video that I did about her. And while I'm on the subject of the video, I noticed that because some people don't think that I read the comments. I do. I mean, I reply to every last comment because there's a lot of them, especially depending on the content. And I realized that whenever I have a certain amount of views per video, Like for instance, that one I did about Black China is almost at 6,000 views. So I know that there's a lot of comments before I even looked at count to see how many comments there are. I'm looking through some of the comments and people are leaving stuff where they are subliminally trying to defend her without making it sound like they defend her. I said, you have got to wake up pretty early to try to pull one over on me. I know you're trying to defend her without you saying, I defend her. And people are like saying stuff like, well, Lil Kim did this and throwing other people in there who probably indulged in skin lightening cream. I said they probably have, but guess what? Two things. I'm not talking about them. They're not the subject matter. And if you listen to the video, I did mention Lil Kim in the video. She just wasn't the focal point. And number two, Lil Kim and some of them other people aren't trying to go over to a majority black nation and peddle this lightning cream for $250 a tub. I said if people knew the chemical imbalances in skin lightening cream and what it can do to you internally, they wouldn't use it. And skin lightening is very popular overseas more so than it is in the States. That's why she went over there to try and peddle that stuff over there in Lagos, Nigeria. And speaking of Lagos, Nigeria, when she was over there, some of the locals there almost got into it with her, and rightfully so. The only people that held them from getting to her was her security. If her security wasn't there, oh, Black China would have got them hands. Even they don't want her there. But she's messed up. Her mother is messed up. That whole side of her family is just messed up. I haven't seen anybody that came from her side of her family that hasn't been tainted. You're right, inexorable Trinidadian. She is desperate to make a dollar and will do anything to get it. It's just a shame that you have some people that are trying to back it up and saying that we're trying to step on her hustle and everything like that. I said she could hustle any other thing that she wanted. I think she used to strip. Shoot, she had the perfect hustle when she was with Rob Kardashian. She already sealed the bag. She already secured the bag. But no, she wanted more. She got greedy. And that's why the Kardashians put her out on her butt. People was like, how in the world did you mess that up? Because we all know Rob Kardashian is probably one of the biggest simps in the world. He got with you in a relationship, if you want to call it that. You got a baby out the deal, and then you messed that up. Like, how did you mess that up? I'll tell you why, because there's something wrong with her. She's the common denominator. She has a child with Tyga. She messed that up. She has a child with Rob Kardashian. She messed that up. She is the common denominator in all her stuff. She can't even get more child support. She's getting some, but she's not getting the increase. And that's really what it is. She wants the money for herself. It just kills me because unfortunately, Black China still has an influence amongst younger people, especially a lot of young girls, Black girls in particular. I said anybody who was aspired to be with or be around the Kardashians, even as a friend or a shopping buddy, I don't care. You need to look at them with a side eye. Because I keep telling people, them heifers are some witches and they are a coven. And Kris Jenner is the supreme. Those of you who will watch American Horror Story get the reference. But if I said she'll get her comeuppance eventually, and when she does, you know I will be there with the violins, ready to play, ready to roll. She said Chris degenerate. Before I go any further, and I should have mentioned this in the beginning with my good news segment, but I'll mention it here. Shout out to those brothers down in Texas that saved those people from that burning building, that burning apartment complex. Y'all probably saw the video that I posted up last night, where you had those black men that helped them people get out of that burning building. One of them being a newborn baby. Amazing video to see. Lamestream media probably really didn't talk much about it. It'll blow over probably in a week, but you know, we got it at the beginning of it. But shout out to them. And someone else had said something on Twitter when I had reposted it or retweeted it. They said, notice that these brothers have hoodies on. I said, I noticed that. Because remember, it was some commentary that I did a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, where this black I would say boy or young black man got arrested in the mall because they said that uh, they have an unwritten rule where you can't wear hoodies in the mall. Yet these black men right here had hoodies on, not all of them, but some of them, and saved all these people from a burning building. But then a couple days later, you had some white women went into the mall as a form of an experiment wearing hoodies, and nothing happened to them. So the point was proven. That unwritten rule was some BS. I mean, it was some BS anyway when they said that it wasn't a post. It was an unposted rule. But yeah, definitely salute to them. Hopefully, they can get more accolades, and hopefully, more people become more aware of what happened because it needs to be publicized. If we had our own black media that was on the scale of a CNN, we would know more about stuff like this. But thank God for social media because that's how I found out about a lot of the stuff that I bring to you, like that video in particular. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic. And I think this is the one that a lot of people, this is the one right here that has been talked about for a while since it happened. And that's John Allen Chow, aka Mr. I'm gonna go over and try to preach the word of Christianity to these people, and ended up dead. I don't know why people continue to go over to that island or to that place, to that sector, and keep trying to mess with them people. Like they warned your silly ass not to go over there, and you continue to do it. Now, I was listening to another commentator earlier today when I was at the gym, and they were talking about historically wise how a lot of people have been going over there to try to do whatever it is that they were doing, and none of them were successful. So, what made you think you would be? And that was back at a time when they didn't have a lot of the advanced technology then like you do now. They warned him not to go over there, and he went anyway. I don't know if he thought he was special or whatever, but they took care, they dealt with him accordingly and said, nope, you're not any different than the others, and we're not going to treat you any different than the others either. They got them spears and them bows and arrows. Now it's amazing. Now, isn't it amazing how these individuals don't have any guns? They don't have any projectile weapons, no bombs, none of that. but they are managed to protect their own with something that they made, not something that was manufactured in a factory. All they have are them spears and bows and arrows, and they may have some other stuff over there that we haven't seen. And they are able to protect themselves like that. And this is a thousands on top of tens of thousands of years old worth of people that are there. They've never been colonized. No one has ever infiltrated. Well, people tried to infiltrate, but they never really you know how this story ends. Look at John Allen Chow. But all they want to be is left alone. But some people in the world can't seem to grasp that concept. And we already know who they are. But he wanted to play the part of, well, maybe if I do this, that, and the third, then I can go and save them from themselves. I said, them people don't need to be saved. They're fine. Just leave them alone. But yeah, they killed him. And you know what's so crazy? I don't know if y'all heard this, but John Allen Child's family actually came out and said that they apologized on the behalf of their son. They didn't say, oh, we need to find a way to get them or anything like that. His family came out and apologized on his behalf. I said that's all they can do because they're not going, it's not like they're going to go over there and get revenge. They can try. It's been people that went over there in helicopters and they shot their bows and arrows at them helicopters and chucked them spears at them helicopters. Like that's like going into no man's land. You heard correctly, Black Rage. He went over there to quote unquote want to spread the word of Christianity. That's what he said he was doing. But let's be real here. Was he really over there to do that, or was he trying to do something else? And see, they've kept their way of life the way it is because they've seen how the rest of the world has become colonized. They are the only group of people that I've seen so far who have not been colonized in this world. And they basically made it illegal for anybody to go over there. Basically, apologize because they know what their son did was wrong. Now, here's the thing: if I'm not going to carry myself over there, and I'm black, and they'll be able to see that I'm black, but they'll know that I'm not them, and they'll know that I came from an already colonized establishment. I know I would. I know I'm smart enough not to go over there. Why would you, who definitely does not look like them, go over there? And then, of course, you had some white people on the internet talking about, well, they need to catch up with the rest of the world. They need to practice diversity. Well, you see what happened when you practice diversity, we end up where we are today. And notice the only time that we ever hear about the people, the North Sentinel people, the Sentinelese, is whenever someone's trying to go over there and invade. That's the only time you hear about them. Like after this blows over, we won't hear from them again until somebody else goes over there and tries their luck. Be first, is or is, you gave the perfect example. That's what I thought of as well. That kind of reminded me of Wakanda. You too, JK. I'm sorry I missed your comment. So now, whenever I think of Wakanda, I'm always going to think of the North Sentinel people. A troll. Okay, well, see, that's a troll. A troll. They ain't going to do nothing past a keyboard. Let's just put it that way. They're not going to do anything past a keyboard. I had to address that troll the other day. Well, yesterday in that video. They only believe in diversity when it benefits them, and usually when it benefits them, it doesn't benefit anybody else. But they'll try their best to make you believe that it's for everybody, but it's not. I can't think of anybody who went there, who went on the island itself and made it out alive. Who wasn't supposed to be there, I should say. They'll have good commentary. I agree. Just like that whole equality thing. I said that equality thing is a myth. That's right, Taylor. Tell them to hit that like button if you came in the room. If you just get in here, you haven't hit that like button yet. And Naja, how long ago was that? That's one thing I would say when it comes to non-black people. I guess we could say non-black people now because John Allen Chow, he would qualify as a non-black, non-white person who thought he was white. They like to go over to these foreign lands and think that they can do whatever it is that they want to do and that there's going to be no consequences for their actions, like absolutely none. Look at Otto Warmbier. Went over to, was it North Korea, and messed with that banner. And they did that to him just for messing with a banner. I said your antics of what you use over in the establishment can only be used in the establishment. Outside of that, it doesn't work. But see, they feel that because they've colonized America, that they can go and do whatever they did here over there. That's why I said they are not far removed from their ancestors. And I'm always going to say that because at the end of the day, they constantly prove me right. I know they wouldn't react well to us Beats by Blue. That's why I wouldn't even dare try um going over there. Like why? But you know what they should do? Maybe what they should do now as a form of punishment for those who deserve it, instead of sending them to jail here, just tell them I'm gonna drop you off on the Sentinel Island. I bet they'll wish to go. They bet they will be kicking and crying and screaming, wish they were going to an American prison. Well, let's move on to the next topic. Oh, and the next topic is actually a bit of good news. Y'all want to hear the good news? Bob McNair, the former owner of the Houston Texans, died. That's the good news. People like probably be like, "Oh, wow, I can't believe you actually said that." Well, I did because listen, I do not forget easily. I do not forget what he said about those black NFL players or black people in general last year when the kneeling was really, really popular. I do not forget. And I've also noticed that mainstream media didn't really talk about his death either. I found out about this on the internet. But I saw it one time and it's like, oh, well, okay. Those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I had posted up a meme, not a meme, but a GIF after I had said Bob McNair died. And the GIF was of LeBron James playing a violin. Like I said, for those of you who didn't know who Bob McNair was, he was the former owner of the Houston Texans and he was a racist. That's the only two things I can use to describe him. Like every time people asked who he was, that's what I said. He was a former owner of the Houston Texans, and he was a racist. And it doesn't surprise me. Owner of Houston Texans, and you know him and Jerry Jones, who is another one. He's probably worse. Are buddy buddy, and you know Jerry Jones owns the Dallas Cowboys. Wasn't he the one that made that comment about the prisoners running the asylum? Wasn't that him that made that comment? I thought it was. Okay. Okay. Just making sure. See, I don't see. That's why I said I don't forget. Jerry Jones looks like a lawn gnome. But yeah, good riddance to him. I don't feel anything. Cue the violins, all that good stuff. Next story. And I hate to have to bring her back up, but I have to after this little thing came out, but it didn't surprise me. And that's Cindy Hyde Smith. As y'all know, she was the one that made that comment about saying she would attend a public lynching and all of that stuff. And then that governor of Mississippi came out and doubled down on what she said and was talking about. Well, black women, they aborted all these babies and stuff back in the 70s and, 20 million black babies. I was like, what did that have to do with her saying she would attend a public lynching? But anyway, the reason why I'm bringing her back up is because there was this notification that came to my phone from like a news source that my phone is automatically subscribed to that sends me news articles every so often, where it said that she went to a segregated school or segregated college or something. It was something segregated, but it was someplace where she was getting an institution of higher learning, I guess you could say. And my response to that was like, well, duh. I mean, look at how old. Well, first off, I don't know how old Cindy Hyde Smith is. She could be looking older than what she actually is because they age like cow's milk. So, like when they said that, I said I'm not surprised. I didn't even read the article because it was like nothing past the headline surprised me. And exactly, nothing happened to her. She's actually still in the running. I don't know if the campaign for that is over with or if they've chosen a person to be in that position or what. But y'all gotta understand, it's Mississippi. It's Mississippi. Right next door to Tennessee, where in Pulaski, Tennessee, that's where the KKK was founded. OG swag, more like 600 and 1,000. So when they said um that she went to a segregated school, I said that doesn't surprise me, and that completely um lines right up with the comment that she made about the lynching. And like I said, she didn't apologize for it. I was like, I'm not surprised she didn't do that either. Like I say, I like my races out in the open. I don't like when they try to hide. And she looks like the what's that thing off of that whack Super Mario Brothers movie? The what was that called? It was like the big lizard that wore that burgundy trench coat, them ugly looking things. That's what she looks like. Yeah, thank you, Senior 34 the Goombas. Yes, that's what she looks like. That is exactly what she looks like. Did y'all enjoy that story I did about the FedEx driver? I sure did enjoy talking about it. Entitled it Fade X. Now that was fun. That was interesting. Shout out to Timothy Warren. No charges. None. That really made them mad. They was like, "How dare you not charge that man?" Because the guy was gonna die anyway. And what they even said, it wasn't from the punch that did it. It was from the guy's poor health and bad habits and all of that stuff. Victor said the driver was Sentinel. If the driver was Sentinel, the person that died, he would have had a few holes in his body from them bows and arrows and them spears. But they were trying to say, well, he should have just drove away and just let that just roll off his back. I said, no, black people are tired of seeing of that roll off your back crap. These are the same ones that wouldn't let stuff roll off of their back. Look at how much they still mad about OJ being let go after the trial back in '95. They still mad at that. Hey Ashton, remember that? Okay, that troll is back. That one who keeps asking me why don't I make a video about XXXTentacion? I thought I got rid of them months ago, and there they go again. They keep asking me about this guy. Like they have an obsession with me not talking about him. And they do it under different accounts. Like this is my first time seeing them leave a comment in the chat or anywhere for the last couple of months. They used to do it almost every week, but now it's like they do it every few months. Oh yeah, I forgot Hood Mistress is here. That's the one that actually helped me out find out this person's IP address. And we know where you're at. Oh well, you may come under different pages, but we know where you're located at. And you are committing a cyber stalking crime. That man been dead since what, June, and you keep asking me to talk about him. And let me tell y'all, the reason why they want me to talk about it is because the people that killed him were black. That's the only reason. There are plenty of people who made videos talking about XXX Tentacion and his death. A lot of people. But why are you so fixated on wanting me to talk about him? And there are also some people who have other channels who have bigger numbers than me who haven't talked about him, who talk about the same stuff as I do, and you don't come at them, but you come at me. But anyway, let me move on from that. We can talk about the recent video that I just uploaded, and that's about those boys in that so-called prom picture where they was holding up that Nazi salute, and how they basically got a slap on the wrist. Not surprised that they took that picture, nor am I surprised that they got a slap on the wrist, because you know they gotta protect your future. They gotta protect everyone's future and whatnot. And they said that, oh well, since they are practicing their First Amendment right, we can't do nothing to them. But like someone else said in the comment section, you have black people who call out racism in schools, or you have black people that choose not to stand for the pledge, or black people who may wear their hair in their natural state, and all of them get punished for it and then some. Isn't that their First Amendment right? But see, they try to. That's why they kill me with that diversity thing. They really kill me with that. Right, go late. They said they were waving. I said, okay. I don't know many people that wave like that. I know when people wave, their palm is usually seen and is held in an upwards motion, not in a motion where it's sticking out like like a diving board. And the thing is, if no one told you that was a prom picture, you wouldn't know what they were really getting ready to do. And then one of them had the nerve to stand up there and hold that little hand signal that 45 is always doing. You know, the one with three fingers and a circle? That one. And notice they'll only do that together amongst themselves in a group. And they wouldn't dare do that one on one against another black person ever. They'll probably try, but you know, it most likely won't end well for them. They got so many hand signals, I can't even keep up. To be honest, I don't really, excuse me, be following them like that. I just know that it's something sinister in nature. You said Amber Geiger's brother did the same thing. I'm not surprised that her brother did the same thing. And I'm glad you mentioned Amber Geiger. Shout out to the new DA who's actually doing his job, unlike that Faith Johnson. And shout out to True Royal Family for staying on that case. They got that Faith Johnson up out of there, and that new DA said that we charging her with murder. Because leave it up to that Faith Johnson, she was going to let that chick walk with no charges attached to her name. Now, all we need to have happen is for, because I know they're going to go to a trial with this, is actually have the charges stick and get a conviction, and then find out how long she's going to have behind bars. What they also need to do is get rid of that other chick too. I think, who was she? The police chief. The other one, I forget her name. I call her tag team partner. They need to get rid of her too if they haven't already. Appreciate it, Joe Johnson. Thank you, Taylor Green. Renee. Renee is her name. I don't know her last name, but yeah, that's her name. You see that, Shaw, right? That person came back with another page, and that person is out of Oklahoma, by the way. When myself and Hood Missions was able to track that IP address, that person came out of Oklahoma. It went back to that same location every single time. How this person manages to create all these pages and manages to find me, I don't know. Well, August, I don't know what's to come of this, but people better be on alert out there just in case it goes a whole another way. And speaking of people who got wrongfully killed, I actually have a pre-recorded video about this, but I figure why not talk about this right now? And that is of the brother down in Alabama that was killed on Black Friday. I think his name is Emantic Bradford Jr. Emantic Fitzgerald Bradford Jr. He was the military personnel that was killed inside that mall by them cops when they I think Lisa had did a video about it, and they said shots were fired, and they came to the mall looking for the shooter, ended up shooting and killing him, and they so-called congratulated themselves only to find out they killed the wrong person, and the person that they were looking for is still on the loose. Talk about incompetent. Yeah, Taylor Green. That's the name. Emantic Fitzgerald Bradford Jr. It happened on Black Friday 2 days ago. I said when I heard about that, it reminded me so much of the brother that was killed at that bar working as a security guard. He was doing his job and they killed him anyway, even after the people told him that he was a security guard and he was wearing his uniform, and they still killed him. That's another way that they try to get themselves off, is by saying, "Oh, it was mistaken identity." That way, they can make it look like an accident. And what's so crazy is the thing that I really hated the most about the coverage of that story was somebody, I don't know who, took a picture of his body after he got shot and put it online. Now they blurred out his face, but it was definitely him. Like if you go online, well, I'm not gonna post it, but if you come across it, you'll see his body is laid out on the floor in blood, and they have his face blurred out. And I guess his service weapon is next to his body. Exactly, just like what happened to Jamel Roberson. So far, I haven't heard the family say be on that forgiveness tip. Hopefully, I don't hear about it, and hopefully, it doesn't happen. I think his dad came out and said that he was licensed to carry because he was a military personnel, so he has special privileges with carrying a firearm because of his military background. They only shot him because they saw a black man with a gun. Like I said, a black man with a gun in this establishment is a threat, whether he is a legal owner or not. Look at what happened with Philando Castile, and he was killed in his car in front of his girlfriend and his child. Yeah, it's messed up what happened to him. And like I said, the person that the actual shooter is on the loose. Now watch that. I'm curious though. I am curious. What is that shooter like? What is the shooter's ethnicity? How do they identify? Because if that person is white, then they really got it all the way wrong. And for all we know, the guy was probably trying to help or defend the people that was in the mall who was against the shooter. And just like with Jamel Roberson, he ends up dead. You're right about that, BIE 2018. And it's interesting you said it marched down Pennsylvania Avenue because I remember seeing a picture from years ago when the KKK was like really in fruition, like really out there. It was them holding a Klan march rally, whatever you want to call it, right there on Pennsylvania Avenue. If you go and Google that image, like I cannot unsee that picture. And they're literally marching in a procession right down Pennsylvania Avenue, like having like almost like a huge parade style march right there on Pennsylvania Avenue. Wait, but that was way back when, probably back in our grandparents' time. Because black people can't do that. Because if y'all remember back when Michael Johnson did his thing, a couple of hours prior to that, it was well, not a couple of hours prior to that, but right around the time the shots started being fired, there was two black men, two brothers, walking down the street in Texas in the open carry state with their AK-47s, just walking, and they pulled them to the side and arrested them because they thought they were the ones doing the shooting and confiscated their weapons. And this was in Texas, also known as what I call the NRA's favorite state. And I said, and I'm gonna say it right here, and I said it in my pre-recorded video. White folks are at a double-edged sword with this case right here with his death. And the reason I say that is because one, Emantic, well, they call him EJ, some of us call him EJ. EJ was a military personnel, and I think he might have still been active. He was a military personnel and he was defending the people in that mall. On the other end of that sword, cops killed him. The double-edged sword meets where white people are in the center because white people love the cops and white people claim to be so patriotic and love the military. So you got a question. They got a decision to make. Who do I love more? The one who died or the one who shot? My guess, because he was black, probably the ones they're going to love the most at the end of the day is they're going to say the ones who shot. They're going to have a little bit of sympathy for the ones who for the one that got shot, but they're not going to completely disregard or disown the one that did the shooting. But it also goes back to what when I saw him be killed like that, it goes back to what I was what Muhammad Ali had said back in the day when they tried to draft him into the military and said, "Why would I go over there and fight them? They have no problem with me. I have no problem with them. And why would I go over there and fight for an establishment that I can come back home to and they can kill me just because I'm black, no matter what I'm fighting for, as far as protecting the rights of the American citizen." If say for instance that the cops actually do get charged with something and the charges stick and there was like a conviction behind it, the only reason I can truly say the reason is because the guy was in the military. And I think that would be the only thing that will cause it to actually have it stick. Had it been any other way, as we have seen, which unfortunately seems to have become the norm, it wouldn't go that way. Well, so far the update with the Kendrick Johnson cases, they said they want to open the case back up. That's all I've heard is that they want to open the case back up because they said that there's new evidence. But let's be real here. We know that that boy was not. He didn't commit suicide or whatever it is they said that he did. We know he was murdered. Like no one can possibly do that to themselves. Nobody. They must really think black people have these immaculate superpowers that we can even kill ourselves in a situation where murder definitely did happen. Like, how in the world are we able to shoot ourselves in the head while being handcuffed, tied behind our back? Or how are we able to shoot ourselves in the head and set a car on fire after we do it? It was all this also this story. I didn't get a chance to do a video about it because it's constant updates about it, and it's more so about what happened more locally. But there was this little girl who was killed by a stray bullet from a shootout, and it's ironic because I just did a video about a girl who was killed by a stray bullet yesterday, but this is two different stories, and it's a reason why I'm mentioning this because it goes back to that whole Chicago thing. She was killed by a stray bullet, and I think it was over the course, like it happened maybe last year. I can't remember the exact time, but it was very recent, and she was killed and then they went in on the case, and I'm actually shocked that they are really sticking with this to get the people involved, because it's a little black girl, because we all know if it was a little white girl they would have really went in, but they're really going in for this one. And they ended up finding the people that was involved, and I didn't realize that it was that many people involved for that shooter. I said it must have been a turf thing or whatever. So they found one person, then a couple weeks later they found another person, and another person, another person. The last I heard, they were up to six people who were involved with this one girl's tragic, untimely death. Now, the reason why I said Chicago is because if they could find the people involved with just one girl shooting, in the DC area, and they probably still think that there's probably more than might be, then how come when all these shootings, quote unquote, happen in Chicago, they can't find one suspect? Let me say that again. They found all these people who were involved with this girl's shooting in DC. They're up to 6 right now. But when it comes to Chicago, they have all these so-called mass shootings, but they can't find one suspect. But all these shootings happen uh every other weekend. Somebody's lying. Or those shootings are not happening by citizens, they're happening by exactly commit God, they're happening by the police. That was something I ended up just piecing together when I was hearing that particular story. So, Mistress, I don't know how that person is able to make that many on troll accounts. I really don't. Like, isn't YouTube able to pick that up when they create multiple accounts like that? I just saw Hood Mitches, and they commented the same. They made the same comment on this on your channel under that video that they leave here constantly on mine. And I'm like, why are they asking you about it? I can still make videos be first because do you know how many celebrities nowadays have YouTube channels? And they started after they became famous, so of course their following was going to be a little bit more faster than mine. But yeah, I'll continue to do them. A lot of people, you know, how many people blew up from YouTube? Like YouTube is actually what helped propel me to get out and as far as getting exposure like to y'all, like to a whole new audience. I never thought that I would gain this much of a following on YouTube, to be quite honest. And speaking of blowing up, I'm actually 2 subscribers away from 17,000 subscribers. I'm at 16,998. I can knock those two out by the end of the day. Actually, yeah, YouTube is definitely a hobby for me. I don't get paid from Google AdSense anymore. I used to. on my old channel before it got terminated. But right now it's like my channel, like as far as the getting the monetization and stuff like that, that's like it's just stuck right there. But for many, some other people, YouTube is a career because like people have become millionaires off of it. Some people have been able to retire off of YouTube, or people made this their full-time job. And yes, you do have to pay taxes whenever you get that them checks. When you make $600 or more in a single year from YouTube, like from Google AdSense, you have to pay that. You have to pay taxes for that. You'll file a 1099 because basically you're working as an independent contractor. Like I don't know if y'all, if I think I did tell y'all this maybe in a live stream where someone at my job, well, my other job, well, one of my jobs had recognized me when I was helping them out with something, and they said, "Is your name so and so?" And they actually called me by my government name, and I said, "Yeah." They said, "I watch your videos all the time. You make good content," and that was a person who was subscribed to me. I didn't know who they were, but they knew who I was. That felt very humbling that people recognized me. Especially since I don't show my face in all of my videos. Like the only time I show my face, which was very recent, was when I did my Creed 2 review. And that's usually the only time I show my face, unless I do a car video, which I rarely do. And that's about it. All right, Hood Mistress. Oh yeah, JK most definitely. Look, like when that whole ad apocalypse thing happened, every YouTuber felt the sting from that. Especially and I know the people who were making lots of money, I know they were pissed about that, and that's all PewDiePie's fault. I don't know why people tried to gloss over it, but it was all his fault. When he made them those anti-Semitic comments, and he was about to make that partnership with Disney, he not only did he lose that partnership, but a lot of advertisers pulled out, and a lot of people didn't make their money. The last biggest check that I got before that happened was like $700 something for that month. I was looking forward to that next month. Reason being, because I knew I was gonna crack 1,000. That didn't happen. I went from $700 something a month on from that video back down to like five something. I dropped like almost 200 plus in ad revenue because of that. Everybody felt that. But the advertisers have started to come back since then. But of course, I'm not experiencing that because they have yet to approve me. It's like they didn't say whether they're going to approve or deny me. They just said that I'm just like stuck right there because they got to go through a process of all these other people that want to be a part of the partnership program. Back then, when you got on YouTube, you could automatically get approved to be a partner and start making money instantly. That was old YouTube. That was back when YouTube was just getting owned by Google. That's we're talking about back in like 2010. So we're talking like 8 years ago. The reason why PewDiePie is still on here is because PewDiePie is one of the most popular YouTubers, and they're always going to handle him with kid gloves no matter what he does. Well, yeah, if they took care of their money, then yeah, they still have money. But then you also got to think too. A lot of them started off making AdSense money, but then some people joined networks. And if you became a big YouTuber or very successful, then some people got deals, like endorsement deals. So they made money off of that too. Some people got to the point where they don't even need the AdSense money anymore. They get endorsement deals. Like I said, people have blown up off of YouTube. Some people have gotten television shows. Some people have been in movies. Some people got record deals. Some people probably, maybe if they did maybe food channels, they may have gotten deals with mainstream restaurants to just review food. Like so, when you get them endorsement deals like that, you don't need Google AdSense anymore. And if you do get it, that's just like that's probably play money. They did do Willie D wrong, but I'm glad that he's still making videos. But he really does it on his IGTV page. And so if you have like an Instagram account, you can see videos that he does that he will probably put on YouTube. He does them on there. Appreciate it, Hood Mistress. Hopefully he can get them off. But you know, them trolls, they never really go away. Just they just temporarily disappear and then they reappear. We all do. I miss Willie D being on YouTube. Maybe he'll come back. I don't know when, but at the end of the day, that's his decision. You said I'm your news anchor man. Well, I appreciate that. I actually have a degree in mass communication with a concentration in broadcasting, to be exact. So this is like lining right up with my field. And also, I used to work at, well, not work at, I used to intern at my cousin's radio station down in South Carolina when I was in school. A part of my requirements when I had to graduate was do an internship, and I did it at my cousin's radio station. He owned a gospel station. He probably still does own it. And they used to let me record PSAs and stuff like that. Well, he probably does it over on IGTV because it doesn't he doesn't have to get hassled like on YouTube. Like I haven't used IGTV yet, but I have the app on my phone. It's basically like if you want to record longer videos, because you know on Instagram you can record 1 minute videos, or you can use the Instagram stories and do 15-second videos. But on IGTV you can record up to 10 minutes, and it's basically you recording a video on your phone and you transferring it over to the app and then letting it sit there, and people can view it, like people who follow you. And he's actually getting in good now because I heard IGTV is going to implement like a monetization program like YouTube does. So a lot of people are trying to get in on the ground floor before that kicks in. Because once that kicks in, then that's when everybody's going to want to flood over to IGTV so they can make some money. Not that it's a bad thing, no. I did do a podcast, Taylor Green, on SoundCloud. Those of you who remember know that I used to do podcasting over there when I temporarily couldn't do live streams. I actually still have the account, and I was also doing Black Lightning reviews over there as well. I don't know if I'm gonna get back into doing it, but I did do that briefly. I have actually also been invited on other people's podcasts to do interviews and stuff like that before, though. Don't be surprised he didn't get banned either, Komet God, because he's like right up there with popularity as far as like PewDiePie goes as well. They are all friends in that circle. So as long as you're in that inner circle, that inner sanctum, then nothing's going to happen to you. And notice that nobody talks about that incident anymore. And that was a pretty hot topic for a little bit, but now it's kind of blown over. Or you had some people say, "Oh, well, it wasn't that bad." Yes, Taylor Green, I do have an Instagram account. Yeah, I'm sure August Dreams. I'm sure some people on YouTube were threatening to do a class action lawsuit. I don't know what came of that though, but I did hear something like that. So where you said, in your opinion, what's the key to making good content? Know your audience, engage with your audience, find out what your audience likes, be honest, be truthful, be upfront. Definitely have all your whatever you're talking about, know what you're talking about and stuff of that nature. It's pretty simple, but for some people, it might be kind of hard. Don't be all over the place with your content. Like y'all know when it comes to my content, you know where like exactly what I'm gonna talk about. And I also maybe have some entertainment stuff in it, but that's coming from more so from the movie reviews and stuff of that nature. But it's nothing out like all the way out there and things of that nature. One thing that worked in Willie D's favor is the fact that he had the connections. He knew the right people. When you got those connections and stuff of that nature, a lot can work in your favor. Of course, they were going to appease the people, Black Rage, because they couldn't afford to lose their base. Well, usually when someone, imagine this, you're going to say that you're going to sue somebody, or you're going to take them to court for something. If someone says we're going to settle for this amount of money, people will drop the lawsuit. That's basically what happens. So somebody probably paid somebody to not go through with it, and they say, you know what, let's just drop it. That press conference was good. That I watched that entire press conference. That press conference was very good, and I like how Willie D pretty much let all his people speak for him, and I think he spoke at the end, and he didn't really say much. And that's really how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to let your attorneys do the speaking for it. But it's not just the fact that he had attorneys; it's who he had as attorneys. Not the fact that he had attorneys, but it's who he had as attorneys. And I think that shook him a little bit. And another thing, I don't think YouTube wants to deal with what happened to them a couple months ago when that YouTuber had ran up in that building and started shooting. Y'all remember that? I think that was back in what, April? It was in the spring. I do know that. They don't want that to happen again. Yeah, when he came up into that press conference, YouTube gave him his channel back. But I don't think he's uploaded anything to that channel because I'm still subscribed. I had the notifications turned on, but I haven't seen anything be uploaded to his channel. And she did what she felt she had to do because she was tired. Like she was at the end of her rope when it came to YouTube and the stuff that they was doing. And I think they try to do something because, you know, like I said, they don't want to have to experience something like that ever again. Oh, you say he's been uploading videos to his Patreon. Okay. Oh yeah, August Dream. I remember that because I was one of them. I was one of them. But I think I've figured out like how to work around that. And well, you know what? I'm not gonna say any more past that because I don't want to jinx myself because anything can happen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, remember when I told you I was gonna hit 17,000 subscribers by the end of the day, and I said that probably less than an hour ago? Well, I just hit it, but now I'm at 17,009 subscribers. Well, to be honest, I think YouTube started to really show us ways when it wasn't when it wasn't solely owned by them anymore. When Google got its hands into it, then that's when all these changes started to happen. But see, when you're not owned by yourself anymore, you can't really do nothing. If it's owned by another entity, then you got to go by their rules. But then again, the best thing that they did was offer a financial option when Google got involved. Because back when YouTube got started, you couldn't make money off YouTube. That was just strictly hobby based. Okay, so Char Willie, I'm glad you sent me this. Okay, Char Willie sent me a message on another platform that Hood Mistress was telling me about how this person had created a troll account of me, and I didn't see, like they said they had left the comment under her page, but I didn't see the comment with my name under it. Well, Charlie has sent me a screenshot of what Hood Mistress Reloaded was talking about. So this person did use my name, but they're such an idiot when it comes to trolling that they misspelled my name. They misspelled my real name. They got the spelling of the last name right, but they misspelled my first name. And then not they didn't troll over on here or under Hood Mistress video. They went and trolled under somebody else's video, under somebody else's live stream, and probably was talking about the same thing. Are you going to talk about XXX Tentacion? Because that's the only thing that they know how to type. And I think I know whose live stream they went to go troll under, because I recognize some of the names in the chat. Yeah, Hood Mistress, that's the same person you was telling me about. Is that I'm almost certain that's the same person. I listen, Ashton. Like when you find out, let me know, because I'm just as confused as you are. And I went right over to the person's chat, and lo and behold, it got hidden by two people over in that chat under that same name. It has to be Taylor. It has to be a crazy fan. I don't know who or why they're so obsessed with wanting me to talk about his death and everything of that nature. I don't know what it is. This man could have been dead for 10 years and they'll still come and ask him, so you're going to talk about his death. Other stuff has happened since he died. But listen, y'all, I'm about to actually get up off of here. Been here on here for almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. But I enjoyed conversing with y'all today. You know, usually we do this weekly. Oh, I'm gonna probably put this up sometime next week. There's not gonna be a live stream next Sunday because I actually have to go to work a little bit earlier than usual, to the point where I can't even squeeze in an hour long live stream or do one of the short ones, like sometimes, like the one sometimes that I do. But it was good talking to y'all. We discussed quite a few topics today. I'm glad we had that little discussion at the end when it came to YouTube. Um, Stay on the lookout for more videos because they are definitely coming. And I will talk to you all in the next one.